Here at this Drake and Future show, getting ready for this waffle color soul singer known as Aubrey Graham with his Woe Is Me anthems. What you drag me into? Drag me into this waffle color soul singer.
Mom did.
Shame. It's like no.
100 times you was going to bed. Why would I put on the best I can? All my day was, you know, Charles Lane. The better off not saying Lord. Damn boy, that handful. I know when I like me. You know you okay. They gon' think I'm like that. They gon' think I'm like that. Swinging out the place, damn it. They gon' think I'm like that. They gon' think I'm like that. They get for them drugs, yeah. The real right, yeah. Whole same thing in Mike, yeah. All up ice, yeah. Wanna be that like something new. Stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop. Oh, no.
What's going on, y'all? Marcus here, back in the shop. Here with Teak. What up, Teak?
What's up?
It's fucking disgusting. If you don't know Teak, he's actually one of my co-workers at 66 Raw Radio. We actually did a podcast together 2 weeks ago on the DJ Khaled's predictions of major keys. And yeah, so that's Teak again. Really not much else to talk about. But we are talking about Drake and Joe Budden. And I'm sorry for the delay. It's just we've been really busy. I don't know about this guy, but I've been really busy. And last week I was on vacation. So the video that you just saw, in the beginning of this video was a Snapchat, my Snapchat story of me at the Summer 16 tour I was at with my little sister. I was actually in Texas last week, and it was kind of like a little surprise. Like I didn't know I was gonna be watching Drake like that. I think it was my sister and her friend was supposed to go. What happened, man? This is real.
Oh.
This is live.
Okay.
This is live.
I was about to say, I was so close to say you were taking a shit while you did so.
Oh, I'm about to get to that. So, yeah. So, I was actually there when Drake dissed Joe Budden, right? And this is live, so fuck all that. So, it was pretty wild. Like, the concept wasn't all, it was pretty tight. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was dope. I'm not a huge Drake fan. You guys know that. No matter like how many of y'all might say I'm a dick rider of Drake. It was cool, but I didn't really get hyped till Future came on. That actually, jumped out my seat and was hype as shit. But before that, my sister was bouncing. All the other girls that were around the area, they were definitely doing the thing. Shit was lit. But I missed when Drake actually dissed Joe Budden. And this guy pretty much gave it the surprise. The reason why I missed it is because TMI, it was like 5 minutes before maybe, I had to take a shit.
It was taking a dump.
Yeah, I had to take a shit, so I ended up just leaving and did my thing. And Texas is a weird spot. Texas is a weird place, first of all. Like, side story, but when I left the store, there's people that are openly sniffing cocaine in the bathroom. Side story, Texas, y'all are different out there. Y'all are just definitely weird. As soon as I left out the store, these dudes are just sniffing, and they offered me something. Like, first of all, I don't sniff cocaine. Second of all, how you gonna offer me cocaine as soon as I walked out the bathroom taking a shit? The last thing I want to do is put my fingers up my nose after I just wipe my ass. That was kind of weird. But when I got back to the concert, my sister's the one that told me that, yeah, he just sent a diss at Joe Budden. So you saw that.
All you Texas people can start hating on Marcus now in the bottom. Start
what I say?
You just called him weird.
Yo, they are ballsy, son. They are sniffing cocaine right by the entrance of the door, or the bathroom door. There's cops and security guards walking all throughout the area. As soon as you walk in, they're like right there, just pumping, just. So anyway, going back to Drake and Joe Budden, what did you think about that?
Him dissing? Mm-hmm. It was about time. Fuck. About time he put some fucking hair on his chest.
Son, Joe Budden sent, I don't know what that is, whatever. Joe Budden sent like 4 shots at Drake, right? 4. I think it was 3, and then he dissed him, and then he sent another one, right?
Yeah.
So, I feel like the first song, Making a Murderer, was the actual diss song.
Other than that,
I guess you could say that, but after that, everything else were just shots. They weren't actual diss tracks, in my opinion, because Making a Murderer was y'all saw my breakdown. I know y'all wanted me to talk about Wake, and I think, what's the other one called? There's Wake, and there's After, something like that, right?
I lost all track, and after like the second one, I was just like, bro.
You're over it.
There's like nobody else, like, a beef can't be one-sided. Like, it was boring as hell. I was like, what is going on?
I can see why you say that, but at the same time, this is what we talk. We actually did a podcast on 66 Raw channel, so definitely check it out. But
download the app.
Remember last year, Drake sent a diss at Meek and then clowned him for not sending him one back, and it was like 4 days later, and he clowned him for that.
Exactly.
So it's like, can you say? I feel like you can say the same thing about Drake. Like he still hasn't sent a shot at Joe Budden, other than what happened at the concert. I really feel like Joe is winning. Joe is definitely winning, regardless if you guys want to say he's irrelevant and shit like that. Joe is definitely winning. I mean, it's hip hop at the end of the day. Yes, at that beef, he's definitely winning.
Yeah, he's winning the beef. But what literally put that beef into perspective? Everything else is not really shit.
What you mean?
That beef by itself does not mean shit in the career of music and entertainment and anything.
Yeah, if you talk about that way, but like this is what DNA was talking about in the podcast. If we're talking about hip hop, now I'm kind of changing what I'm saying now. Because before I was kind of stuck in the middle, and a lot of people were saying that I wasn't really biased. I mean, people were saying that I'm biased because I didn't choose a side. I didn't choose a side, but now I really feel like I had fun at the concert. Like, Drake still makes good music. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. But as a fan of hip hop and a fan of battle rap, Joe is definitely whooping your ass. He's got 4 songs on you. You haven't dropped one. That Pump It Up shit, supposedly they came out before anything else. So that's not really a diss song anyways. What do you think about that? Like, are you still like Team Drake? Or you just don't even care? That's kind of how I was, but now I'm like, nah, he gotta respond.
Look, after a while, like, I was always Team Drake. Joe Budden is just, he's like, alright, so an analogy for you guys. So, an analogy that I would put toward this situation would be like a freaking mosquito biting your neck, and the mosquito is Joe Budden. And Drake is the guy who's getting bit, and you're just waiting for the right chance to slap the shit out of him. And Drake hasn't done that. He's just been waving his hands.
So you still think he's waiting for the right time? But it's been like 3 weeks now. When is the right time?
He's not heated up enough.
Yo, granted, I know a lot of y'all want to take back in the days where it took a rapper months before they sent a diss shot back. Like, I think it took Nas 4 months before he replied to Takeover. But we're not back in the day. Now it's the time of social media, so people know when a diss track is coming out before it even comes out half the time. So I feel like, what are you waiting for if you are going to respond? If not, then I guess you just brush it under, under the rug. But it's like, Joe is still going to attack. Like, I don't know, and honestly, like, I still kind of feel iffy about where the whole beef came from, because if you listen to the podcast, I still feel like it wasn't that big of a deal. But when you listen to the Joe Budden podcast, it was personal shots that us as viewers didn't really know about.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because in Hot 97, when French was on there, he was actually saying Joe Budden's actually reaching for all that shit. Drake wasn't nowhere near talking about him, but on No Shopping, he was actually talking about him, obviously. But before that, Joe Budden was reaching.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think he was definitely reaching on that 4 p.m. at Calabasas.
Yeah. That's what initiated it.
But that's what initiated everything. But at the same time, Joe definitely said there are shots in this song that you as listeners and fans don't know about, because I know this guy personally. So there are definitely shots in here that you may not know, because if you and I had a certain conversation, you coming over to play Xbox or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, there are personal interactions that you may throw at me that when we go to work or we go to school or we go wherever, people aren't going to know about that until you actually say some shit that happened in my house that people don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's definitely some internal beef that we as viewers don't know about. So that does make sense. However, though,
I just think Joe is just salty.
You still think he's reaching?
No, I think Joe's salty that Drake slept with Serena.
Tahiri, not Serena.
No,
Tahiri.
Serena too.
Serena Williams?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that. I know Tahiri. That was the whole thing. It was like,
I think he did both.
He probably did, man. Drake is probably smashing everybody. So, needless to say, what was I talking about? Oh, if you listen to the Brilliant Idiots podcast, I'd put you on to that, but I don't know if you listened to that episode. Brilliant, Charlamagne the God, Andrew Schultz. So I actually commend Joe for actually going on the show, because they both dissed each other. Charlamagne went on record and said that Joe is definitely reaching, and that was the most pointless diss song ever. That was a waste of 6 minutes. That's what Charlamagne said. So Joe actually went back and called him a puppet, and I don't know if he called him a dick rider, but he was pretty much just teasing Charlamagne. You know what I mean? Pretty much just saying, what are you talking about? You don't know shit about this. But I don't mean to cut you off, but you got to commend Joe for actually going on their podcast so they can actually have a conversation.
Yeah, I'll give him that. But the only thing is, see, if Drake was in the same situation, he wouldn't bother his response.
What you mean?
If Charlamagne said something, that's their fucking job. He wouldn't.
But Drake has responded, but that was years ago.
You said right there.
Yeah, okay, that was years ago. I don't know. I mean, But then again, they're definitely in a higher caliber. Joe is definitely more opinionated and more open with what he got to say. He got a podcast, so you're gonna talk about the shit that happens around you. Drake, we just know him as an artist and occasionally an actor on Degrassi, or not Degrassi, but Saturday Night Live and
Mr.
other shit.
Ghostwriter.
You know what I mean? And Mr. Ghostwriter. But he's not openly spoken like Joe Budden, where Joe Budden has always been openly spoken. That's why he got his ass whooped by, Wu-Tang members and shit. You know what I mean? But he's
a little
definitely
bit too opinionated.
But you know what? I mean, so what? You gotta be opinionated. It's hip hop. If you got something on your mind, spit that shit out. But I will say, listening to the podcast, I think Joe Budden is definitely a fucking lunatic. Just cause
he's crazy.
He's crazy, dog.
That's proven.
I will say that he is definitely winning the battle between him and Drake, but where it came from, I understand there's internal shots, but when you listen to the podcast,
he's not winning the battle of life.
Joe he sounds fucking ridiculous. He spewed a lot of bullshit during that podcast, and it's just like, I don't have to defend myself. Why? Why do I have to defend myself? No, not at all. Why do I have to recite what I said?
He's not winning.
But then he asked them, Schultz and Charlamagne, the same thing. Like when they said something, they were like, prove it. And he's like, wait, how come you don't have to prove it, but we have to prove it? So I don't know. Joe is definitely a lunatic, but I guess I like that about him because I was definitely entertained. It was definitely, you gotta listen to the podcast, y'all. I'm gonna put you on to that after when we leave out from here. But honestly, I think Joe,
Did you peep when he was chasing the kids down?
Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about that. You wanna talk about that?
Yeah, so these kids, apparently they hassled him before, but they walked up to his car while he was pulling out his driveway, recorded him. He got out of his car, tried to chase him down. Next thing you know, he's chasing him down with the car. This is how you know he's a lunatic. He was following them with the car. He was chasing these three
and
kids
recording
down
them back.
and recorded them back while they were recording him. Then he cut him off.
These motherfuckers are gonna die off of some Twitter internet
right.
shit.
Then he cut him off. He got out. They locked the door, so he's like looking through the sunroof, and he's like, "You guys better not come back."
But he's got rocks in his hand too.
I know.
Yo, he's got rocks in his hand. Charlamagne was talking about that this morning. He was like, "Yeah, you better be scared of Joe Budden. He got that slingshot on him." So that was the funniest shit ever, and that kind of proves. I mean, I don't know if I would do the same, but as a man, somebody approaches you, you don't know them, and they're disrespecting you in front of your house.
But
chasing them is kind of wild too.
That's lunatic.
That kind of shows you how crazy Joe Budden. He just does not give a fuck at all. It was funny as hell. But to recap it, what would you say to sum it all up? Because I don't want to make this video super long.
Drake stayed getting dubs.
Okay, so obviously Drake is winning in the mainstream. No surprise there. Hip hop wise, Joe Budden is definitely winning. I retract my statement. Oh, look at that, it's Joe Budden.
The wrestling shit.
Show me some dumbass thing. I'll post it up here. But hip hop wise, Joe Budden, you're out of the shop, man. Hip hop wise, Joe Budden is definitely winning because at the end of the day, it is hip hop. Drake has not responded no matter what he said on stage. It doesn't really make a difference. He's still winning, dog. And to me, I still think he's a lunatic though. But that's neither here nor there. Hip hop wise, Joe Budden got it. Yeah. Even if Drake does respond, Joe got it, dog. He's more of a lyricist.
To you hip hop heads, yes, Joe Budden's winning. But to everybody else, he's taking L's.
I guess in life, like you said.
Yeah, he's taking L's in life.
Cool. Like I mean, he's cool. I just think he's a lunatic, but that's for a whole different reason.
That's a problem in life.
That's a whole different reason. You know what I mean? Like I'm speaking off of just not being biased because I feel like he had the right to say what he said about Wu-Tang years ago, and then he got his ass kicked. But it's like I feel like they still went too far by doing that shit. But you reap what you sow. But at the same time, it's just
he's chasing people down in cars.
Whatever. But that's pretty much it. That's what I think about it. Joe is definitely winning hip hop wise. Drake is still going to win the mainstream, which is obviously has been said before. But Drake needs to respond. If he doesn't, then I don't know. He shouldn't say nothing towards Joe. He shouldn't diss him on stage or nothing if you're not going to send a diss song. My personal opinion. What you think?
Like I said, Drake, just keep it calm, collected. Joe, he's just gonna keep throwing shit until Drake says something. And Drake, whenever he does say like put out a proper diss song, it's gonna be. It's just cause the fandom that he has is gonna be over.
It'll make a good club song, good party song, but lyrically, Joe got it. And we're gonna wrap it up right there. Last words, man. Where can they follow you? Social media.
Instagram at IamTeek0793. I do beats. Holla at me if you need anything. I'm here.
Also, hit me up, Marcus_the shop. Twitter, Instagram, same. And that's pretty much it. Catch y'all next time.
Peace.
Remember when I was up at the motherfucking terrace? Friends and conversations giving me sense of merit. Good times with the good kind.